Okay, we're back for a few final steps. So there's the KAT1 in its final state. It has the 3-pin and the 10-pin connector, and C17 got installed, and that is a 102 as it's supposed to be. Then we get to the final steps where they tell you remove the top cover. We're good there. And then remove the screws holding the filter board. We did that. And then install a 3-pin on the top of the filter board. We're lucky that's already there. Remove the jumper between 2 and 10 of J2. That's the jumper we use to get RF through the radio. That you need if you ever take the tuner out to tune up the filter. You need to put that jumper back, otherwise you get no signal. Install the 10-pin dual row female fill J2. That's already there. Okay, that's done. No more filter boards. Align your filter. We did that. Then this is if you have, I guess there's an errata here. First of all, here, RF39, I'll show you that. So we have a rev, you can find the rev of your board way down in there. And I guess you can see this is a Rev Er. So we're above the Rev C minimum they are talking about. So they want us to look for R39, and you see we already have R39 right there. And that's the 1.8K, so that's the extra resistor we have. So that's done. And then they want us to solder a 0.01 across R39. Use short leads. And then it says if you have an E or later, you'll not need to solder R36. Instead, this should read, move the RF detector to the KAT1 position. And so that is back here in the corner. We have a cool thing where instead of having to move wires, there's a 2-pin setting jumper. So we'll pull this out and we'll put it in there. So now you can see instead of being in the K1 position, it's in the KAT1 position. So that takes care of routing. And then let's see, what do we have? And like they say, if you want to take out the tuner later to tune up, you have to put that back to the correct position. So I guess we do need to put in a 0.01 across R39, which is not that much fun to add rework resistors, but it looks like if we look at R39 is right there, there's nothing over here that looks like that's built in. So we will get that extra 103 that we got. And try to find a nice way to route that. That's the 103. So somehow we need that to be down here in a place where it won't short. So we could go under the leads. Could try that. And then lift it up. What do you think of that as a method? I think that might work and should prevent any shorts. And then we have to lay it down. So I think I'll push it back just a bit. you like that? I think that'll work. So we'll solder that on the end and then cut those. I could bring them over farther, I suppose. That. All right, let's see how that solders. That's not that pretty. Have to work on that a little bit. I'll cut that a little more and then look at it again. Not sure if it's that pretty. Leads keep sticking to these diagonal cutters. I guess that's okay. We'll trim that a bit more. Boy, we're gonna get the flux cleaner out. Whoever built it left me a pile of yellow here. All right, we'll call that good and we'll come back for testing in a minute.